Remain muted until the conference leader unmutes your line.
In this morning, the purpose of the meeting is to review our global order entry system that we are going to launch on Monday, July the 16th. Some of you might ask, why a new order entry system? Chromalox has built an exceptional order entry system, and many of you have helped with that. We've had committees work on reduction of order entry errors, and for those reasons, you might be asking, why are we making a change? And so the main reason for this is that it's been about 15 years, and we've been building logic into the web. So we have logic in our web, and we have logic in our ERP systems. And so if we want to make any changes or enhancements, we have to coordinate the changes between these two systems. It's been very time-consuming and costly. So one of the main reasons for the change is all business roles now reside in our ERP system. This allows us to implement changes quickly and make upgrades to the system, and it positions us for growth and expansion. We may have some, as we do any enhancements, there may be a few small roadblocks as we proceed. And we have the teams who have spent countless hours testing, and we are really excited that we're ready to launch the product. Our IT department will have numerous programmers on staff to ensure a smooth transition. And so what will the benefits be to the users? Well, we'll finally have real-time stock levels. Newly configured parts will be immediately available. We'll have global inventory flexibility. The new system will accept multiple currencies, and it lays the foundation for expansion and quick implementation for future enhancements, in addition to positioning the company for sales growth. So today we're going to talk about 4 different areas. We're going to review the changes that have been made to the stock check in the extranet, how to search for a new customer, how to add a new customer, and order entry. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Tim Solomon. He is an engineer in Pittsburgh, and he is going to walk you through a PowerPoint presentation to show you the changes. And before the end of the week, we will be providing you with a recorded copy of the training, in addition to a user acceptance test link that if you wanted to go in and test and see how things look before we go live on Monday.
Yes, hello everyone. Well, my name is Tim Solomon. I'm an engineer here in Pittsburgh, and I've been given the privilege to look at the new order entry system. A lot of the items that you're going to see today are pretty similar to what you're used to seeing on the current extranet. However, there are going to be some changes that you'll find maybe interesting. So what we're going to do today is go over training for the stock checker. The first item that you'll probably use pretty frequently. So to get to the stock check, what you'll do is you will do it the same way that you have done in previous extranet, which will be go to products and then stock check. You'll then see this new screen. And on this screen, you'll have the same functionality that you've had on previous extranet stock check. That is, you'll have to input a search for a part number, and you'll see that this is a required field. You'll input a PCN or part number in that box, and then you'll select Search Inventory. When you select Search Inventory, a list of part numbers and rows will pop up in this section. The columns will be available as it was on the previous extranet version. Here we have part number description. This says NSN. This is the sales code where the item will be shipping from the stock location. And there's also a feature here to click to add an item to a cart. If you return many results in the stock check, one thing that you can do is you can sort them by sales code, which this feature is also on the previous extranet version. I believe it's sorted by branch plant currently. So also here, is a box that you can add additional columns into your returns, and you can also remove columns by left-click on the drop-down and then select the X for hide column, or you can do as previously, sort ascending and descending. So that was the stock check search. Now we're going to look at how to search for a customer. And to search for a customer, you will do that the same way that you have done previously. You'll go to Chromalox Extranet, and you'll see the 360-degree view. Then select Customers and Customer Center. And then you'll then see the new Customer Center. Again, the look will be similar to what you've been used to seeing before. The Customer Search Center will be done through entering a customer name or number and then selecting Search for Customer. As in the stock check, you'll see customers appearing in rows down below, and you can sort those to try to eliminate via territory, country, postal code, city, state, or phone number. You can either clear the search fields and try again, or you can, obviously that's button clicks to run the search. But the results that you return down here, once narrowed down, you can do one of three options. You can either click this little paper note here, which will pull up specific details about the customer, such as their CCN, what type of distributor or reseller, end user they might be. We'll talk about different pricing programs that they are signed up for. So that's pretty much the detailed view above the customer details. Also tells you salesman number, territory assignment, et cetera. So that would be how you would get your detailed customer information by selecting this little notepad here. This item here would be, this is a shopping cart, so this would be if you wanted to place an order for that customer, you'll select the shopping cart and it will take you to the order entry screen. And then this little button right here, this is for customer contacts. So when you select that button, it will actually pull up all of the customer contacts that you have on file. And just like the stock check, there's this little bar here that if you click, and I unfortunately don't have what that looks like, but if you click, it will open up a box that you can add and remove columns out of here and really tailor this screen to how you like your extranet to look and what features you use most when doing a customer center check. So that's a nice feature, and you can do like the other, like stock check, and you can left click and hide columns or add them as well. So that is definitely a nice enhancement. So if a customer does not exist, you can actually go in and create a new customer. And one of the ways of doing that is by selecting the Create New Customer box. So this is kind of new. The previous extranet, when creating a new customer, actually popped up a little window that you had completed. On this new version of extranet, you will actually get a page to create a new customer. The first item that is required for entering a new customer is we're going to input the customer shipping information, which is a little bit different than what we're used to doing. In the prior version, you enter the billing info first and you put their territory info in. But the first thing it's going to prompt you to do is to add the customer shipping information. And when you do the shipping information, it's the same information as we have all input previously. That's customer name, phone number, currency, and the currency is going to be either USD, Canadian, or what have you, whatever currency you're registering this customer in, where they're located, address, country, city, state, postal code, and then select Continue. The next step it's going to do is it's going to prompt you to enter the customer billing information. And in here, you receive a blank template again. You've moved from step 1 into 2. One of the things that you can do here is there's a box that's called billing address same as shipping. Now, by selecting that box, what it will do is it will pull in all of the information that you have input into the shipping info and pull it directly into these boxes and fill up these fields. If the customer has the same ship to as the bill to. If that's the case, you'll click this box and then continue. If not, you'll fill in the correct billing information for this customer location. After pressing continue, the next section, and this is something that's different, is the new customer general information. Now, this is something on the prior extranet version that's one of the first items that we had to complete. Now here you see it's been moved in a little bit to step 3. It's actually a good feature because in order to determine this general information, you need the customer ship to and bill to information first so that you can fill this in. Again, this is the same as prior extranet version where you're inputting territory number and you're also entering a CCN and salesperson number into this location. The following step is an optional step in the process, and this would be entering any type of default shipping information. It was never a mandatory field in the prior extranet version, and as well, it's not a mandatory field in this one. However, if you do have a new account that you're creating where you have a customer that has specific shipping information that they can provide you up front, this would be a good location to input this data, and then this will save to the customer account once you've finished creating the account. The last step of the customer registration process is it just asks you to go back and review all of the information that you input. It will be a good validation point for you and to make sure everything's correct. If something is missing or if something does not look right, you can always select the Go Back button and go back and edit your inputs. And then whenever you're satisfied with what you have, you'll just go ahead and select Submit. After you've submitted the customer information, you'll receive this page, and it's going to be exactly like the confirmation page. However, you're now going to see that the customer has been supplied a new registration reg number. In this instance, this customer that we created for example purposes is reg 59842. So the last and most important part of this whole process, and this is probably why we're all calling in so that we can place orders. So to do that, what we will do is in a similar fashion as to the previous extranet. You'll go to Orders and then select a new order. The first screen that you'll see pop up is it's going to be step 1 of 6 for a new order. It's going to be enter the customer ship to information. And what this is going to be that reg number that we just created for this customer, or it will be an existing reg number that you have that you're looking to input into placing the order. You can also search by customer name, and if you return multiple results, as we sometimes do when we put that information in, you'll select the Advanced Search tab so that it will help you narrow down your results. So this is what it will look like if you selected the Advanced Search tab. So in order to narrow down my search for this specific customer, I entered the customer name on the name line and then input the postal code for the ship to address and then selected Search for Customer. And it returned one result. Again, you can left-click this box to add or remove columns as you see fit. You may not find a need for some of these items in here, and those columns can be hidden. And again, you can customize these to fit your use, whatever would work best for you. In order to proceed with this customer, I'm going to click the Use button, and it will move me into the next step of the process. That would be the billing and shipping information. So when we receive a purchase order, this is typically at the top of the order, and this is has always been at the top of our current extranet order entry page. It is the billing and shipping information. Here you'll validate that the billing information and the shipping information is correct. If your customer does not ship it to the assigned ship to location that is registered to their account, you can select Add Drop Ship Location, and what that will do is it will give you the series of boxes here. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not, I apologize. You click Add Drop Ship Location, and it will give you a series of boxes here, not these ones, but it will have you input the actual address and information for the drop ship, and you'll just use that. But that is where you would do that. Under customer contact information, there's not a contact register here, so if you select Add New Contact, this is the information that will pull up, and it's very similar as the last time. You have the first and last name of the individual, email, phone number, their role in the company, and the telephone numbers associated with the account. By selecting Save, that will save that customer information as we have done prior, and then select the Continue button. So on step 3, this is where you're going to input your part number into a cart, and here what you do is you begin typing the part number in this search box, and then once you narrow down and select the part, it will look like this in the cart. You'll see that it's going to tell you how many pieces are in stock. It's going to give you a lead time. Since there's one in stock, the lead time is currently at 0. It's going to give you a list price, which is here. Also lists the stat code and the fulfillment plant. You'll input your quantity. You also have the option to expand and collapse this line item. This is an expanded version of the line item. And then if you needed to delete that item, here's the trash can. You click to delete. The way that it will default is it will default to allow partial line shipments. If you do not want a partial line shipment, you will deselect that box. Approval drawing holds, similar to the prior version. You left click, put the check, same as a sample order. Then if you wanted to add documentation for that line as the prior system had, you would select this right here and add documentation. One other item I wanted to point out is in the search feature, you're now going to be able to search via catalog. Here my search is I'm searching catalogs in Americas, but you can narrow your search to government, service parts, and literature also. So it gives you more flexibility in terms of what items you're going to be searching for to help you narrow down and get the correct part. This last item that you see here, it says apply discounts and basket pricing. So as you'll notice here, the customer that I've registered is a reseller customer. So the list price is $1,157. It's coming up with a unit price of $1,157. This item obviously needs to be discounted in order to be resold. So by selecting the Apply Discounts button, what that will do is that will actually apply the discount, and it will reprice this item in the cart. And I did not get a screen snap to show you what that looks like, but you will see at the order confirmation that this price has been discounted. So step 4 in the process is where you select shipping dates or tell us when you would like this order to ship. You'll see that I have my one line item in the cart, and it is shown here, quantity 1. That has an estimated ship date, which that is a faux pas there. That's not a real estimated ship date. The requested ship date, if you select ship items on specific days and you put the date that you want to have the item ship out on in here, that would be how you would request it to ship on a specific day. If you want to ship the order when available, you'll select this box and it will input the ship when available ship date. Or you could, if you had multiple line items on this order, you could ship this whole order complete based out of the sales location. And then here you have the shipping billing options, and where you will enter, as you had done prior, the prepay and add to invoice, best way, or collect, third party, that's where all of this billing info will go. And for special notes, these are notes that will appear on the packing slip and show up at the factory. This shipping instructions box, this information will show up on the customer packing slip. So if you have special shipping instructions or notes for the factory, this would be where that information would go. Select the Continue button. Here you're just selecting purchase order. If you were going to pay via credit card, this drop down here would come out and you can select credit card and input all the credit card information. For this example, we're just going to do PO. So I'm going to say sample purchase order. And as the other system, the other options boxes are here. It would be to request for cold weather program consideration or thermwire consideration. And that would just be done by selecting the drop-down boxes. Okay, the confirmation page, this is the very last step in the order entry process, and I apologize for kind of how small it is. Hopefully you can see all of the details, but this is pretty much the whole order on one page. It gives you, again, the billing information, the shipping information. It allows you to validate the part number. Also requires that you put that check in the box to confirm that the item that you have ordered is correct and on the customer PO. It does show the discounted price now of $1,041.30. This item is a reseller, and we did have it put the basket pricing in. And then also, we have a parcel and LTL selection that we made, our payment, and I'm going to go ahead and submit this order. And then this is what the final order submission is going to look like. It looks exactly like the other order confirmation has, and so this is definitely a familiar page that we're used to seeing. And so that's the process. Those are the new changes that have gone into effect. So I'm going to hand this back over to Janet, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tim.
The leader has turned lecture off,
said
and
earlier,
your lines have been
we are
unmuted.
going to be issuing a recorded version of the training if you'd like to share it with folks in your team. And also, we will be providing a user acceptance link that you can go in and try it out. It's still in the test mode, but we'll be providing that near the end of the week if you wanted to go in and test it and see how it would work for you. And as always, at the bottom of every web page is an email address and a phone number. If you care to report or request any enhancements, you can certainly do that. So with that, the line is currently unmuted. Does anyone have any questions?